Zebed says, great initiative. What's your plan to sustain the 100K network for consistency so people don't just come in and go? And what's next after hitting the 100K? Very, very good question.
I'll let you take that first.
Okay, cool. So,
President.
right. So the plan to sustain a 100K network for consistency is actually by listening to each other. Yeah. As an organization, we try to maintain a constant feedback loop, right? And once those, and these have to, of course, be feedback, constructive feedback based on facts, right? So when we were just a team of 4 to begin with, we were obviously a lot more closely knitted, and then we spoke to each other every opportunity we had. Now that we're branching out to what is now a 16-man team, and even expand, and can easily expand by to about 25 by next month, the idea is trying to maintain that closely knitted culture and maintain a constant feedback loop. And then with that feedback loop, create norms out of what has been, agreed on being the right passage of way. Yeah. So some of the basic things, for example, is how we communicate with each other, right? I know I'm not the best on WhatsApp as an example, right? So even if we create 100 WhatsApp groups, maybe you won't be able to get me. Maybe you'll be able to get me on Facebook or Instagram is how you can, or emails. We know some of the members of the teams are better on email. So it's just, with everything, I know that the cliche statement around, the key to a good relationship is communication. It's true, right? It's true, but you need to figure out the best way to communicate with the right people and with the people you're involved with, right? So to maintain that consistency of that network, A, make sure we listen to each other and keep that constant feedback loop, and B, because we listen to each other, because we maintain those feedback loops, because we ensure that these things become the norms and the culture of the organization, when the people within the organization are suggesting newer members of the team, because remember how we spoke about collaboration, they would know the right profile of people to bring within the organization, so that there's no this issue around fitting people into what the culture of 100K for Ghana is. So we're hoping based on that, we'll be able to sustain and grow the organization. Of course, we want 100K individuals contributing to this initiative, but we do appreciate that not every single 100,000 will be part of the core team. So we also understand that we will need a core team of lawyers, accountants, people with medical background, accountants, all of that. I think I said accountants already. But the idea is that everyone with a good skill set in IT and so on can become a part of the core team. And as part of the core team, we figure out a way to continue growing that team there. And was there a second part to that question? What's next after hitting 100K? That's a fantastic question.
Yeah,
I'll tell you what we're not going to do. We're not going to then change the name to 200K for Ghana.
I wish she said this on the interview. I would have got the team to clip that as well. That's hilarious.
We're not going to do that. But I tell you,
all the trademarks. Nah,
exactly. What's going to be amazing is that we set ourselves a challenge to have 100,000 Ghanaians contributing their time, efforts, and money to us. And what will be absolutely amazing is to say we've managed to hit that. It's to say 100,000 Ghanaians have heard us, and they're like, you know what, Enoch? Here is £165 or the equivalent, right? Which is the number that we spoke about on the podcast, and that's the number we maintain. Right, £165 times 100,000 are 16.5 million pounds. We go and develop our nation with that money one time every single year. Imagine that success, and imagine what we can build with that. Imagine the people we can help with that. And then we're doing that year in, year out. Imagine the success in 5 to 10 years' time. You see what I mean? It's unprecedented.
It's a ripple effect.
It's a ripple effect. exactly.
Systems in place, procedures in place. All systems go.
Yes.
Firing
Yes.
all cylinders.
And just to add on to what Enoch mentioned as well, is, you know, in terms of sustaining the network, you know, right now, a lot of the work we're doing is all free. There's no one getting paid for this. So a lot of it is based on, you know, what you actually believe and the passion for 100K for Ghana and what we're trying to do. And throughout the process of, you know, getting people to work within 100K for Ghana, you know, one of the things to sustain that connection is the filtering process and some sort of governance. You know, we have to make sure that people are actually committed and will dedicate their time and effort, because essentially you're not getting paid for this, but we expect to get things done. So, you know, right now, like Enoch mentioned, we're a small team, and we continue to have that governance in place where anybody coming on board understands, you know, what's at hand and, you know, what we're trying to achieve. You know, that's one of the main ways to, you know, maintain that connection. Also, people that we work with in terms of collaboration, we want to make sure that they also, you know, understand what we're trying to achieve and make sure that there's always that end goal, creating that impact on the ground. So a lot of the time that filters through a lot of the projects that we do and a lot of people that makes 100K for Ghana. And you know, if we do exceed 100,000 people, the aim is, we want to do, you know, is simply a movement. We want to show that what we can do. Essentially, we've got into fabric woven and agriculture, which is the mushroom farm. But there's also fertilizer and there's other areas that we can go into, such as real estate, you know, affordable housing that we can go into. And I think we can always tap into our resources within 100K for Ghana to get this done. So, it can definitely exceed 100,000 for Ghana, but we can have 100,000 for Ghana, agric, 100,000 for Ghana real estate or affordable housing, etc. Yeah. So in terms of the naming, there's more to it, but we want to really get across the movement, I guess. That's, you know, what we're trying to do.
And let me tell you guys a story. When I reached out to Samuel, asking him to be our financial director, Samuel was already part of 2 organizations in Toronto, right, where he held an active role, or holds an active role.
Yeah,
Samuel's a senior manager within his job, right, his career, which he's built this past decade, right. He's not a small somebody sitting there.
Yeah,
right.
Humble guy too.
but when he took on the challenge, he knew that his bandwidth was already stretched, right? Yet and then he's still able to deliver. Yet again, he's still able to be part of our day-to-day meetings and so on. You understand? So the idea there is, we know people are busy. We get it. I'm busy. Adrian, you're busy. Our whole team has 9 to 5s, right? Or 9 to 9 in some cases. Right?
It's true.
And we're all, you know, we all understand that yes, we need our 9 to 5s to pay our bills, right? But you know, the little bit of time we can get, 8 p.m., 9 p.m., we can support this initiative. And again, that's why the collaboration is important, because it's not just one man doing all the work.
Absolutely.
Right.
Okay. We're gonna keep it moving. Couple more questions and comments that has